This is video 2, and we're picking up where we left off. So that is this: how do we decide what to believe? Again, read purpose, process, key ideas, conceptual thinking, and summary. Then watch the video, taking some notes, and answer the necessary questions and key ideas and conceptual thinking. The next item, claim testers, episode 1. We are doing that. Same process, except instead of it being a video, it is an article. So again, read through the purpose, the process, the key IDs, the conceptual thinking, and the summary, and then click into the article, read it, take your notes, answer the questions. Reminder, you don't have to do this 3 close reads. That's going to accompany every single article in all of Big History. You're always going to see that, as far as I know. You can ignore it every time, okay? You're taking notes in your notebook. And the next activity is actually not one I'm requiring. Again, in the instructions, you will see analyzing investigative writing, not required. It's in red, so you can ignore that one. Although it's great information about good writing, so I do encourage it, but again, not required. And then the last activity is one that we are doing, and it is called Investigation 1. And you're going to see these investigations throughout Big History, and they will usually be required, although not always. Okay, so again, I would encourage you to read purpose and process, but what you'll notice when you click in to Investigation 1, most of these worksheets do in fact repeat the purpose and the process. Okay, so just so you know, this will be printed out for you, excuse me, because this is something I'm going to have you fill out on a worksheet as you've done in the past. So that purpose and process, I just wanted to point out, are on the worksheet as well. Okay, so what you're going to find after you read through that is that, there's going to be, the purpose and process is going to tell you how to move through this activity. So you absolutely should read it. But there are 7 texts, okay, that you will have in this packet. I am not requiring text 6 and 7, okay? You see how they both say optional there? That is going to remain, okay? I'm actually changing the view just a little bit. So you will have, you'll still have these listed there, but you don't have to complete them. And what you're going to do is, this is actually one of the sheets that you have to complete. And what it's asking is, text number 1, Christian on historical scales. So that's David Christian talking about historical scales. And your job is to decide whether this text is suggesting you ought to use a faraway view or a close-up view, or both. And all you're going to do, obviously you're not going to do this digitally, but you'll just circle, okay, whichever one you think, okay? So maybe that one's a faraway view. I don't know if it is, okay? If it's close up, then obviously you're going to circle that one. If it's both of them, you're going to circle that one. So that goes for all of these. So this is almost like a little bit of a cover sheet. As you read through each text, you need to come back to this and figure out which kind of text or which kind of scale it's suggesting. Okay, so the investigation library, this is just your table of contents. Again, it's showing you that there are 7 texts. These last 2, again, don't worry about these. We are not doing those. In fact, just to give you the visual, okay, we are not doing these. So you can ignore those 2. It's just these first 5. And they're short, so don't worry. But it says right here, text 1, David Christian on historical scales, okay? Text 1, David Christian on historical scales. So you should read through all of these. Feel free to mark them up. This is your worksheet. Okay, you are going to need to write something based on these. So make sure you are actually reading to understand, highlighting, marking it up with notes. Okay, text 2, Fernand Braudel on historical scales. Again, a short text, mark it up, highlight it. Text 3, different geographic levels. Okay, same deal. Text 4, different timescales. This one you're actually going to have to fill in. This is saying below, we use a 24-hour day as a timeline. In the first, we ask you to fill in your typical day. In the second, we place major events from Big History through the development of human cities. So they've filled out this one. This is, as though they're crunching the entire history of the universe into a 24-hour day. Obviously, that's almost impossible. But what you should start doing is filling out here. Okay, midnight. I'm sleeping. Hopefully you are as well. At 4 a.m., still sleeping. 8 a.m., I'm in period 1 at school during the week. Sorry. On the weekend, okay, so you get the idea. You're filling that out. Text 5, which scale should we use? Okay, so this is giving you an example of very small scale, very big scale, and the scale that's just right. So again, that is the investigation. And this text 6 and text 7, I am not requiring, so you can ignore those. And as a result, let's see, Concord, that you don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to actually include that. Shoot, I thought there was something else in here that you were going to read. Sorry, sifting through my papers here. Okay, well, I know it's here somewhere. Process. Oh, yeah. Explore, read, and analyze text. That's part 1. That's where it is. And then part 2, communicating conclusions. It's now time for you to show your thinking. And this is the part where you're going to actually write in your notebooks. So in part 1, you're reading through all the texts and you're marking them up and, reading to understand. Part 2, it's now time to show your thinking. Use what you've learned to list all the reasons why you think both far away and close-up views are valuable. Include in your list texts that help you reach each conclusion. If your teacher assigns it, write a 2 to 3 paragraph essay explaining the benefits of both views. I'm not requiring that. I am requiring a list of evidence as to why you think it's important. Okay, so use what you've learned and list all the reasons you think both far away and close-up views are valuable. So that is something you're going to have to produce. In your notebook, you are going to list reasons why a zoomed in, super close-in view are valuable and reasons why a zoomed out view are valuable. And you're going to need to cite the texts that you used to come to those conclusions. Okay, so no, you don't have to write that essay, although you should feel free to. But yes, you do have to list at least, let's just say at least 2 reasons for each, citing at least 1 of the articles for each reason. So that's a total of 4 articles, or maybe you're using 1 article for 2 reasons. That's fine too. But again, 2 reasons at least why a close-in view is useful and helpful and valuable, and 2 reasons at least why a zoomed out, wide view is really valuable, or far away view is valuable. And again, in all cases, cite 1 of the texts that you use to come to your conclusions. Okay, so that is the work of this week. If you finish early, by all means get caught up from lessons 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2. Many of you did not complete that work. And though your grades are in the gradebook, I'm willing to take work late in this case. So that's all I have. If you have questions, please read in fact, let's just look at it real quick. If you have questions at any time, start by rewatching the instructions video, this one, or reviewing other videos in the Big History playlist. Instructions and tutorials are added regularly. That should say if. I will change that. If that isn't enough, ask your peers. They're incredibly capable young men and women, and they likely have the answers you need. And if you still hit a dead end, please come see me. Okay, shoot me an email, come see me. During class, it's tough, right? Because we're all doing other things, but you can come before school, after school, you can come during break or nutrition, lunch, or again, shoot me an email. Totally fine. I'm glad to help. And frankly, if you need the help, you got to come get it. It's about advocating for yourself and getting what you need. Okay, that's it. So just 2 videos for this week, all related to lesson 1.3.